have the key to the Gate of Devum. I will mark its location. This is the only way into the most ancient part of Hell. The Dark Lord will be there waiting for you.
Waiting for me? But unfortunate for the demons, I have other plans. Now, this is something that I've kind of done in other playthroughs, but I've never taken the time to do it in this playthrough. Welcome to the lore. I figure everyone keeps saying, hey, you need to read, you need to go through, you need to figure this crap out because you're embarrassing yourself. And I agree. I am. So instead, let's go through and learn some things. I should have unlocked quite a bit of the lore, especially about the demons. So if I can go through this and figure anything out about these demons, and kind of, I guess, sort of spoiler, I'm gonna be seeing at least 2 other demons. 3 other demons. And 1 is an ambient demon. So we're gonna be able to figure life out a little bit. And I can actually figure out a better way to use some of my weapons, too. This'll hopefully be kind of fun. I'll learn a little bit, and depending on how long it takes me, I might even rip and tear a little bit. Probably won't get all the way through, but I can at least learn something today. So, a general tip for the gargoyle. Blast it out of midair to instantly trigger a stagger. So if it's in the air, smack it hard. Like their imp brethren, the gargoyle is an agile, relentless pack hunter. Native to the Sentinel world, this beast has plagued the Sentinel Guard for centuries. As one of the few demon breeds that could bypass the walled defenses of Sentinel Prime, the gargoyle could appear without warning and claim hapless townspeople before disappearing into the wasteland. Only the most skilled marksmen of the Night Sentinels could intercept this aerial threat, a peril which demanded an ever-vigilant watch over the city's perimeter. So apparently, they're known to fly over the wall and attack people. That's kind of cool. Not really an issue for Doom Guy because Doom Guy has weapons, like long-range weapons, not just a halberd or a sword. So, oh well. The weakness for the imp. Use bullet weapons to stop the imp in its tracks. Oh, that makes sense. Some of these you're supposed to use ballistic weapons on. The impact will hurt them. Whereas energy weapons, I mean, it hurts, but they kind of just shrug it off because it doesn't stagger them a little bit. That's cool. Imps are scavengers of the underworld. Imps are among the most common of beasts found on the scorched surface of the hellscape, lesser demons of hell. The imp possesses limited intelligence, driven only by the hunter's impulse to seek out prey, a task for which the imp is naturally suited due to its innate capacity for violence. As a result of these attributes, the imp makes for an ideal foot soldier, and is oft deployed in the warring legions of hell. Easily manipulated and controlled by commanding highborn demons at the behest of the sovereign chapters. It is common for the imp to appear at the front line of an offensive attack, an expendable resource unleashed in great numbers to overcome and break through the enemy front. So there is a major hierarchy. Like, I knew they had respect for some of the other demons, but it makes sense then that there's actually, like, soldiers. There's actually army. There's actually commanders. That's really neat, actually. Cool. I'm glad I read through this, because before I was kind of like mindlessly blasting these things, assuming they were mindlessly attacking me. But there's some intelligence. Not much going on in that gigantic dome of this imp, but some of these other ones are intelligent. Lost soul. Weakness is ice bombs? They'll instantly kill a lost soul. I never even thought of using an ice bomb against these, because then I know with the element of pain that I just have to ice bomb it, and any of the lost souls near it that it spawns will be gone. Weakness is shells, so anything that's a shotgun. Shoot it with a shotgun to send it flying, causing a delayed explosion. So similar to like the cue ball explosion. That's neat. The lost soul has its origin among the damned, former humans who have fallen from the mortal world. They are seemingly endless in number. Their populations grow by the thousands with each rise of the black sun. There's a dark sun? Oh, well, that would make sense, actually. In the underworld, there would be a dark sun, I guess. For many, the torturous existence of crushing labor is all that awaits. The bodies of these are very brittle, and those who become broken in labor, their bodies ruined, dismembered, or otherwise incapable of servitude, are transported to the pits, where their souls must be extracted for further use. Wow, so these are the ones who are used for labor in the underworld. And if they can't withstand the abuse, they then have their souls ripped out and turned into these? Those fortunate enough to escape this process are what inevitably become lost souls. Oh, they're the ones that come out of that process. Oh god, that's even worse. Their spirits transmogrified into physical form. The lost soul knows only madness, its memory a haunting image of its former mortal life. These creatures live a fleeting existence, roaming mindlessly, seeking only that which can grant them a final death. What a horrible existence that is. And the element of pain summons those things? I'm not sure how that necessarily fits into the lore, but I'm sure I'll figure that one out in a bit. Okay, here we go. Our new worst nightmare, the Screecher zombie. Killing the Screecher will cause it to temporarily buff all other demons in the arena. Demons buffed by the Screecher Scream are stronger, faster, and harder to kill. Avoid killing the Screecher while more powerful demons are still alive. You don't say. God forbid if you try to shoot one of those while a Marauder's out. I haven't even seen them together, and I really don't want to. I'm sure it's only a matter of time, though. The Screechers were once human worshippers of the Raltha Vatum, an ancient cult. But instead of being rewarded for their devotion, they were tortured in the Citadel of Anguish for millennia. Now the soldiers. A lot of weaknesses. A point-blank blast from the shotgun will stagger a blaster soldier. The plasma rifle can overload energy shields and trigger an explosion. I kind of knew all that. Blood Punch can instantly destroy the energy shield. I sort of kind of knew that one too. Just from playing around with those, I see them so much, it kind of just makes sense. Here's the newest pain in the butt that they love to spam. I love these, don't get me wrong, but again, I really wish they would not just spam them continuously. I'm sure they're going to continue to do that, though, because this DLC feels like it's starting to get right into the middle of the like ramp up part of it. So we're going to see a ton of these. Weakness are shells. Stone Imps are vulnerable to the full auto mod on the combat shotgun. I don't know why it says shells. It's not all shotguns, it's just this one mod. Weakness, Sentinel Hammer. Stone Imps will die instantly from a Sentinel Hammer slam. That's actually kind of fun, because I'll be using the hammer a ton. Imps that lost their lives on the battlefield are cast into the volcanic pits of the burning abyss. Bathed in argent, befouled basalt and slag, they emerge reborn from the flesh of stone. The new hide of the Stone Imp is impenetrable to most known weapons. Only rapid multi-vibrations or the crushing force of a Sentinel Hammer can damage their rock-like exterior. In addition to their retained agility, Stone Imps can channel the pits of their rebirth and self-immolate in hellfire. Wow. That actually explains a lot of what they are and why they do what they do. That's kind of cool. It's neat to see that everything's pretty well thought out. The whole idea of you vibrate their insides, so you can't really penetrate their hardened exterior, but you vibrate their insides enough that they kind of pop from the inside out. And that's why the full auto mod is so good, is because it thumps them a couple times in a row, and it really kind of resonates with their internal gushy bits. That is actually kind of fun. I kind of like that they did that. If it's gonna make sense, then I love it. Weak point is the turret. Destroy the gun turret to completely disable the weapon. So arachnotrons are built with genetic material recovered from the remains of the original Spider Mastermind. The Spider Mastermind. Oh, that was from the first one. I remember that one barely. I completely forgot about that thing. It was a boss fight too. From the remade Doom. I forget what year that one came out, but the prequel to this one. The UAC facility responsible for the Arachnotron's creation, intended to engineer and weaponize demons of their own design, was overrun after an outbreak occurred inside of its assembly plant, killing everyone inside. The facility, still operating under the directive of the administrative AI, continues to manufacture Arachnotrons autonomously. Is that the robot lady that makes fun of me all the time? Is she AI? See, this is why we need to stop messing with AI technology. Eventually, they will grow to hate the most powerful of us and come up with only the world's worst insults. While its shielding is down, a headshot with the precision bolt sticky bomb? That'll work too? Okay. Or Arbalist will instantly kill it. I didn't realize I could sticky bomb this thing. That actually makes more sense. I could actually use almost all of my weapons then. I don't know why I'm not trying more things. Hitting the Bloodmaker with a BFG damage will temporarily disable its shielding. I guess that's good news if this is like in a room with everything else and I'm gonna BFG the whole room anyway. I can then look at this thing and pop its head off really fast. Now our gigantic meatball friends, the Cacodemons. Fire a sticky bomb or frag grenade into its mouth to trigger a stagger. The ballista does bonus damage to flying demons. Well, I guess I kind of already knew that. That's the ballista. I was gonna say the... Oh no. What? Isn't this supposed to be the... Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, the ballista. Right. That's the mod for it, isn't it? And it's the arbalist. I'll have to double check that. Because I think the arbalist is the mod. And the ballista is just the gun itself. So the whole gun does extra damage to flying demons. Hold on, let me check that really fast. If I swap off to... Yeah, that's just the gun. And this is the arbalist mod. So the ballista itself, the whole gun does bonus damage to flying demons. Wasn't it that people were saying that it's the arbalist that does bonus damage and that I shouldn't be using that mod on anything that's flying? Maybe there's something else through here that actually says, hey, it's a mod that does that, but this just says the gun does it. So, Hunters of the Slothlands and the Cacodemons lurks the bottomless and murky depths of the underworld in search of easy prey. An aimless wanderer, the Cacodemon is mostly devoid of cognitive ability, sensory awareness, and otherwise commonly occurring impulses, driven only by a singular desire to feed. The Cacodemon is likely to appear wherever there is flesh to be consumed, bringing with it an insatiable propensity for hunger. So each one of these kind of sort of seems to be representative of one of the 7 deadly sins. I might be reading into this a little bit too much, but is this not gluttony? Or like one of the demons that resides within the ring of gluttony or whatever? Whatever like structure and like caste system that Doom has established. I'm just kind of going based on the old like Dante Inferno style. It kind of makes sense that each one would be sort of focused on specific sins and built around that. And it's fitting that this is just a giant stomach. Or meatball. Your choice. The carcass. I can never remember this thing's name. It's obnoxious and I hate it. Plasma rifle can overload the energy shields and trigger an explosion. We know that one. Blood punch can instantly destroy the energy shield. I didn't know that one, actually. That's good to know. The product of inhuman biomechanical engineering, the carcass was created in the remote labs of the cultist Enclave. Neither truly living nor dead, it exists in a state of partial reanimation, its cybernetic armature simulating a living impulse within a decaying organic host. Devised as a means of extending a soldier's usefulness in combat after death? The unliving host can only be destroyed by severing the body from its cybernetic implants. Why do these labs keep making this stuff? Can we stop? How desperate do you have to be before you start creating stuff like this? How desperate do you have to be before you automate the process of making something like this? Because I've probably killed hundreds, if not thousands of these. Either they're running out or somewhere, some way, they're making more. Now, the Dread Knight. The chain gun can quickly falter this demon. Finally, a good use for the chain gun. I knew I liked the chain gun. I like it. It does a ton of damage. I wasn't expecting one particular demon to be susceptible to this thing. But I am glad that there are some. A variation of the Hell Knight breed, the Dread Knight, has been modified and hardwired for aggression. Aren't they bad enough? The Knights they're aggressive all by themselves. Armed with an exoprosthesis powering energy blade augments, the Dread Knight is the lethal result of the UAC cultist engineering. Again, more people doing this stuff. What was your objective? Epinephrine regulators modulate the Dread Knight with an unbroken flow of rage-addled adrenaline. What? Why? You have these things all hyped up on adrenaline? Which means that they don't take as much damage because they don't feel it. They have extra strength. It uninhibits your muscles, which means that you're more apt to go beyond your limit. So you'll be stronger, but you're going to be shredding all of your muscles as you do it. So you did that to something that's super strong and then decided to give it overpowered energy blades? Why? I don't understand this. While its endorphin receptors have been synchronized to respond with the use of its arm-mounted blades. Its endorphin receptors? So with each kill, the Dread Knight is injected with a flood of artificial dopamine, which means it loves it. Wow, so this thing is actually addicted to shredding. Anything that it brings down, anything that it shreds, it gets a dopamine rush. That's almost a cruel joke that this is people that made this. As a result of its augmentation, the Dread Knight is driven by a biochemically engineered state of pure, unbroken rage. A suffering for which respite can only be found in the act of ripping and tearing. That's kind of fitting. That's kind of what Doom Guy does. So they just made a cheap knockoff version of Doom Guy is what they did. This is the one I want to read about this one for sure. The ballista does bonus damage to flying demons. So again, pull out the ballista for this one. An abhorrent creation of the umbral planes, the pain element is descended from the primal, abominable depths of the demon world. Knowing only its own torment, the elemental is cursed to forge lost souls within the fiery pit of its gut. A process that is excruciating and without end for the duration of the creature's miserable lifespan. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but all of these are bad. None of these are actually beneficial for, well, I guess the Dread Knight, that one has a good time when it's fighting. Everything else is just in constant pain forever. Oh, look, it's Pinky. Aren't they the most delightful little creatures? Those little beady eyes and that dumb head that probably doesn't have a single brain cell inside of it. I love them to death. Shoot it in the back to do massive damage. Well, we know that. They're squishy in the backside. And then a blood punch will kill a Pinky in one shot. And we also knew that one. It gives us a ton of blood punches when they're around. As the underworld emerged on Earth, the Pinky began to appear on terrestrial soil in great number, rapidly becoming the bane of existence to Ark military fortifications. Utilizing its armored frontal carapace, the Pinky is able to penetrate defensive encampments, breaking through walled defenses and using its ramming ability to upturn and immobilize armored vehicles. Aw, they're little menaces. They flip over cars and stuff. Probably tanks, too, if there's enough of them. I knew I liked the Pinky. They're kind of just like the trained attack dogs of the underworld. They brought a whole bunch of them and just turned them loose. And they're like, go do your thing. And the pinkies are just like, okay. They just sprinted head first in every direction, not thinking, not doing anything in particular, and still managed to do massive amounts of destruction and just wreak chaos everywhere. This is why I think they're so awesome. Arc deployments depend on their ability to hold the line against encroaching forces. And it could be disrupted and even overtaken by a single pinky were it able to penetrate and break through their defensive matrix, allowing a greater demon influx to pour in after it. One pinky is really that has nobody told these people? You just pinky coming at you, you step sideways. Doesn't matter which way, right, left, pick one. Step sideways, turn around. When pinky stop, shoot pinky. That's all you have to do. What kind of defensive is this, an automated matrix? It like busted the little antenna that controls all of the major turrets or what? Because it feels like one pinky should not be that destructive. I love that it is, but the Ark rapidly prioritized the target status of the pinky, issuing high-range bombardment to prevent the pinky from gaining proximity. They called in an airstrike just to deal with a single pinky? That would be hilarious to me to watch that. Like, you see this little pinky, a lone tiny little pinky. You're on this massive wall. You've got gigantic, like, 50-meter cannons all pointed out in every direction. You have thousands of soldiers at your left side. You have tens of thousands on your right side. And one person just screeching in horror as someone calls in an airstrike, and 3 gigantic futuristic jets drop plasma bombs and obliterate an entire field to deal with one tiny pinky. Because if it got within 50 feet of the wall, it would somehow break through. That seems hilarious to me. If you're high enough on the wall, you'd have an angle at its squishy butt. Just shoot it in the tail. I don't understand. It also doesn't have that powerful of legs. You could trip this thing. This is the new gimmick that they've implemented. This is the Armored Baron. You shoot the mace while it flashes green to detonate it and destroy the armor. The plasma rifle can quickly destroy the armor. I always forget that. The microwave mod is most effective. Oh. Well, there's another reason to use the microwave mod. Use a Sentinel Hammer Slam when its armor is destroyed to daze it and extend its vulnerability window. The Marauder. If I could learn anything about this, I will be happy. The green flash indicates that they are vulnerable and cannot block, so time your shots. The Marauder cannot block while dazed, so strike fast before it recovers. Don't waste ammo trying to break through the shield when it is active. Use the Sentinel Hammer to daze the Marauder and extend its vulnerability window. Okay, now the Tyrant, also known as the Cyber Demon. A well-timed double jump and dash is needed to evade the Seeker Wave. The Tyrant is slow to turn. Use this to your advantage. It doesn't turn well, does it? Oh my god! So this is an actual, like, tank-like creature. It doesn't corner well. So all I have to do is kind of get close and then just dash sideways and just spin around this thing, and it can't hit me. That's going to help a lot. I shouldn't be afraid. I should get closer, not further away from this thing. So that pretty much covers what I need to know to be more efficient in this game and more successful. I hope this one wasn't too boring for everyone, but in the next episode, we'll return to your regularly scheduled ripping and tearing. So thank you so much for watching, and remember to take care, and goodbye!